Rick Bucher and Greg Jennings. Marcellus and Emmanuel are off today, but we're going to keep it moving. Starting in San Francisco, Kyle Shanahan said, well, it's going to be a very, very hard thing for their first-round draft pick, Trey Lance, to beat out Jimmy Garoppolo. But Lance's former North Dakota State head coach thinks differently, saying, quote, "It would not surprise me to see Trey push and challenge for the playing time." So, Greg, let's start with you. Jimmy G, should he be worried about his job?
No, Jimmy Garoppolo should not be worried about his job. Look, he understands where his future lies, and it is not with the San Francisco 49ers. It is with one of the other 31 teams. And so with knowing that, he can solely focus on just his performance. Now, yes, they drafted Trey Lance first round, number 3 pick overall. But when you look at why they drafted Trey Lance, they drafted Trey Lance in hopes that Jimmy Garoppolo can stay healthy for this year, play lights out, give them an opportunity to achieve the desired outcome, which is a championship, and then allow Trey Lance to take over the year following. And so when I look at that, if I'm Jimmy Garoppolo, I know the landscape that's in front of me. There is no question. You know the quarterback that they just drafted is coming to replace you eventually. And so with knowing that, he has a clear mind and the understanding of how to approach his job. I'm going to go and be the best version of myself that I possibly can, provide my team with great success, and in return, I then benefit because other teams are going to see the value in what I bring to the table. So I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo needs to be concerned with his job. He has the job right now, and he's playing for his future.
Mm-hmm.
Greg, I love the philosophical spin that you put on this.
It was philosophical.
Don't worry.
It was
Be
good.
happy.
Mm-hmm.
What? Because you've already lost the job. So why don't you just embrace the fact that the job is soon not to be yours? But the reality is, yes, he should be worried about his job because they've been looking for an upgrade or a replacement for 2 years now. They went after Tom Brady 2 years ago. They were hoping to get Aaron Rodgers. And then they spent a boatload of picks and assets in order to move up to take a quarterback in the top 3. So do I think that they're on the Patrick Mahomes plan where they're going to keep Trey Lance on the sideline and let Garoppolo go? No, I don't. They are in win mode right now. And so do I think Trey Lance is going to be the starter going into training camp? No, I do not. Do I think he's going to be the starter going into the season? No, probably not. But after week 1, if they don't beat the Arizona Cardinals, get the dude in the bullpen warming up because that's the direction they're going to go. They spent way too much on Trey Lance, and they've been looking way too long and hard in order to believe that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be the quarterback for the 49ers this entire season.
Well, Jimmy Garoppolo has got a little bit of penny invested in him as well. I don't think he's worried or concerned about his job. Now, will Trey Lance end up getting the job, taking the job? That remains to be seen. That'll play out on the field. But if we're asking the question, is Jimmy Garoppolo worried or concerned about his job? The answer is no. Jimmy Garoppolo is very, very well versed in being disrespected. Jimmy Garoppolo has been told he's not a starting quarterback. But he played as a starting quarterback in the National Football League Super Bowl. You know, some would say he missed throws that maybe was the reason why they lost. I would say you trusted the defense all year and you trusted them in the Super Bowl and you let them off the hook, you know, making Kansas City the new sweetheart in the National Football League instead of winning a Super Bowl. That's all Jimmy Garoppolo has done is win and have played ball. So this new addition of disrespect, a number 3 overall draft pick, you moved up to get him, to bring him in. Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't feel fear for his job. Jimmy Garoppolo is riding Jimmy Garoppolo's wave, meaning that for as much as people want to put him down, say he's not the answer, somebody else is better, something else can replace what Jimmy Garoppolo has represented, all the while you're talking about Jimmy G. So he's significant enough. He's been adequate enough to be in these conversations, and now adding a number 3 overall pick. All the pressure really is on Trey Lance. All the pressure is really on John Lynch. Oh, absolutely so. It is on Trey Lance, and it is on the GM of this team for making the decision. All Jimmy Garoppolo has to do is play ball, guys.
Well, I agree. I agree that all Jimmy Garoppolo has to do is play ball. I do not agree with the pressure being on Trey Lance.
Okay.
He has no pressure. He's coming into a situation where he's not going to be asked to play right away.
What number pick were you, Greg?
He's a number.
What number pick were you in the draft?
I was the 52nd pick.
What number pick were you, Rick? Right. So when you look at, like, before we even go too far,
whatever that was,
before we even go too far with that, when you're drafted in the top 10 of a draft, there's pressure on you. This adds pressure. But go ahead. I'm just making sure, because I went number 2, by the way, and I felt that pressure the moment they called my name as to what I was going to bring to the table. And this is a quarterback we're talking about at a winning team, a team that they're expecting to win because of either Garoppolo or the addition of Trey Lance. That's pressure. So, but go ahead.
I completely understand that. But when you look at, let's go back to the Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
Look at their first-round pick of last season. Do you think Jordan Love got into that locker room and within that organization said, oh, my gosh, the pressure is on?
No, that's not the same.
So you're negating the fact that I was 52nd, you're second, and Rick was whatever number he is. But it doesn't matter.
No, the pressure was not on Jordan Love because Aaron Rodgers was going to be the undisputed leader and starter of that team. That's not the situation here. That's not the situation here.
That is the situation here.
No, because there's not a trust. There's not a trust for Garoppolo.
Is saying that my guy, Jimmy Garoppolo, is going to be he's going to be the starter this year. He does not see Trey Lance beating him out. Now, if something miraculously happens, I believe they're going to make the better decision when that plays itself out. But right now, going in, it's completely clear Jimmy Garoppolo is the guy. And you want him to be the guy, so you're not completely throwing Trey Lance in to the Wolves as a young rookie quarterback that has no experience in this league. You want him to sit, to observe, to learn, to understand, and get the most that he possibly can by watching, by learning, by seeing how it's done, how the plays are called, all these various things. You want him to gain information and then hold on to that and use it later, not right now. When we get too caught up into this world of just because we drafted a quarterback high, he needs to play right now. Yeah, I get it. General managers and head coaches' timetable has been severed to like 1-2 years. You better show me something. That's not the case when you look at the San Francisco 49ers.
I wasn't trying to diminish your draft pick.
I wouldn't go that far.
By the way,
I thought I might have to do this, so I came prepared with ammo. I thought I might need to convince you guys that Trey Lance is going to get this job sooner rather than later. Here are the guys in the last 5 years, teams that traded a boatload of picks in order to move up into the top 3 to take a quarterback. And in every instance, that guy ended up playing as a rookie, no matter who was in front of him. So ultimately, I see Trey Lance playing at some point this season. Never mind Jimmy Garoppolo's injury history and the fact that he hasn't been able to get through. And LeVar, you're saying that Jimmy has done nothing but win. Yes. If I'm not mistaken, he was 3-3 last year. Yeah, he won. He won 3 times. He lost 3 times, too. So this idea that Jimmy Garoppolo is some juggernaut that they are convinced that they can win with, the record does not speak to that. Overall, I'd agree with you. Based on the body of work, Jimmy G has been disrespected. But the reality is the 49ers Boo Birds were out last year. Kyle Shanahan obviously has lost confidence in Jimmy Garoppolo, and they're looking for the next thing, whether it be Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, or Trey Lance. So maybe Greg, I love your philosophy. Don't worry about it because it's already over, brah. Just live with the reality. I love that.
You know, I got a little bit of ammunition. I have a little bit of ammunition. And listen, I don't want to diminish y'all's draft pick, all right? Because to get drafted is a blessing, and it's an amazing thing. I was just saying,